Please line up to my left, otherwise I'm going to close public testimony.
Aloha, Chun, James, and Kahuku. I was born in Singapore, and to me, Singapore is 50 years ahead of what Oahu is today. And for your information, a few years ago, Singapore was polled as the country with the most unhappy people. It's not something to be proud about. And there are reasons for it. The whole island has been urbanized. Singapore imports 100% of its food. And with its cash economy the way it is, unless you make money, it's very difficult to live in Singapore. The high stress of urban living, and on and on and on. And I feel that Oahu is very different in a way, because even though Singapore is so highly urbanized, it is only half an hour away from Malaysia, from Indonesia. It is still very close to large land mass like Thailand and then to China. Hawaii, we are an island home. We are out of nowhere, and food security is so important. There's so many ways to skin a chicken, and I really believe that the reclassification of agricultural land has got to stop. May I just use a symbol of our island carrying capacity? Let's think of a rice cooker. Most of us eat rice, so we know what a rice cooker looks like. You have Oahu, in a sense, is a 2-cup rice cooker. That is our carrying capacity. We are not like the mainland, which may be a 20-cup rice cooker, where you can continue to put subdivisions and subdivisions and subdivisions. In Oahu, how many subdivisions can we duplicate before we get ourselves into a big mess? In the spirit of goodwill and good governance, I would really hope that we would be able to defer this bill and have a chance for the public to be involved again in this issue. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your testimony. Members, any questions? No questions? Next testifier, please.
My name is Will Page. I'm from Kailua. I did not come here to testify on behalf of Bill 65, but in listening to the testimony and remembering my thoughts as I read about it, I'm definitely opposed to this bill. One of the speakers that was here earlier said last year that bills were passed by the City Council and that they weren't adequately researched in advance, and that there were negative consequences to those bills which had not been anticipated. And she didn't mention what bills those were, but I think those bills were Bill 5 and Bill 11, Ikaika. And I think that you had a tremendous amount of pressure from the community to stop the buses from coming into Kailua, to stop the commercial activities that were going on at the beach park, to do something to reduce the traffic at the beach park and reduce the traffic in Lanikai, and immediately came up Bill 5, and it was followed by Bill 11. Before Bill 5 was even implemented, Bill 11 came around. I sell advertising to shops and restaurants in Kailua, and I went around Kailua after Bill 11 was passed to sell these guys ads, and what I got across the board was layoffs of water sports activities companies. One laid off 21, one laid off 37, one laid off 19. I stopped counting when I got up to 89 jobs that had been lost in Kailua as a result of Bill 11. We saw 4 different businesses close. We saw, if I had been the mayor of Kailua at that point, I would have declared it to be a financial disaster and asked for federal relief because of the unemployment and because of the bad business. Shops and restaurants, their top lines were off by 20 and 30%. What happens to City Council when your revenues drop off by 5%? You guys freak out, you can't meet your bills, you got to jack up taxes. What happens to a small business when their revenues drop off that bad? I would like you to rethink what's going on with Bill 65 and take a hard look at what the consequences are of this bill before you hurt the people and before you hurt the farm, before you hurt our island anymore. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your testimony. Members, any questions? No questions? Next testifier. And I'm going to close public testimony. The gentleman in the back, I think he's the 5th person in line. I'm going to close public testimony after him. Okay, go ahead, sir.
Hello, council members. Hello, Chair. My name is Alex Breslauer. I don't want to keep us here any longer than I have to. I live in Eva Beach. I work in Eva Beach, so I stay there all the time. I love it. It's been said, I mean, I could take all day to rebuttal all the things I've heard today, but it's true that my kids cannot eat homes, but I have 4 children, and I can promise you that the 4 children that I have and their children and their families are not going to live with me. We need homes. I support Bill 65.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Members, any questions for the testifier? If not, thank you, sir. Next testifier, please, sir, come forward.
My name is Tony Anejo. Sir, we need better access for the handicapped. It's really bad over here. I oppose the bill because you don't have balance. No balance at all. The homes, the farmland should be kept. Prime farmland should be kept. If you pass this bill, it's like what you read in the newspaper. Agenda 21. That's what it is. I'm for my family. My family does not want this bill. There's hundreds of us, but we all couldn't make it here today. I wish it was down in Eva Beach. We'd have more people. If you guys, what I noticed the government is really bad at is greed, anger, and stupidity. That's what's running some of this government. That's what's running this government. Greed, anger, and stupidity. That's all I have to say. Make the right choices
Thank you, sir.
for our future. Thank you.
Thank you. Members, any questions for the testifier? Not. Next testifier, please, sir. Offer your testimony. State your name for the record.
Thank you. Aloha, everybody, and Mr. Chair and members of the council. I'm kind of encouraged by, the previous testimonies. My name is Glenn O'Milda. Born and raised on Oahu Sugar Plantation. Over 100 years, sugar workers have been in my family. A century. My grandfather, 48 years. My dad, 48 years also. And my brother, who farmed, he was the last one to farm the important ag land, which we call not Ho'opili, but Honouli'uli. Mr. Chair, I was the original envisioner. We set and envisioned Kapolei. I wasn't uncomfortable sitting next to all this time, next to Bob Stanfield, because he was a junior planner. He took notes like he's taking today. He's been doing that for the last 16 years. So I wasn't uncomfortable sitting next to him. But let me tell you this, Mr. Chair and members of the council. Each and every one of you got a stake in this. And it's motivated and driven by developers and special interests. You, Mr. Chair, the chairman of the Planning and Zoning Committee, have already approved Haseko's plans to develop either a pond or a marina. Our representative from Eva Beach says she has gone there. There have been 34 meetings. I have been to everyone. I was the first one on the visioning team. I haven't seen you in any of those meetings. But the issues are of the amendments. For the last 15 years, there have never been community meetings and oversight over the amendments, the changes that should be made to the Eva development plans. Only last year, I found out they had ascribed a number to Eva development plan. That's Bill 65. 65. I don't know why not 69? That's a good arbitrary number. Why 65? So, Mr. Chair, the thing that I'm really concerned about is the amendments. Because we have 5 operational, ongoing plans within the Eva region. 5. And I don't think any of you have parsed these 5 plans that are active, developing plans in the region. I don't think any of you have parsed it. I have. I have parsed each and every one of these plans. And I don't think, you know, there have been any kind of conclusive evidence that you guys have read the plans. Ho'opili, the transit orientation, traffic, they're all amendments to what we have placed before DPP, but they have, excuse my word, shit-canned each and every one of them for their plans. Now they come before you for that you guys could accept those development amendments. But I tell you, when you look at EVA, one of the plans, those people that was because of the city mismanagement, those people live in substandard living conditions in EVA, the EVA Villages Master Plan.
Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to come to a conclusion.
And we haven't had a meeting on that. So, Mr. Chair, I'm concerned about, you know, the ongoing concerns about Ho'opili traffic, but I'm also concerned about the other conditions that are going on within the region. So, we want to hear this. We want to hear these amendments. And for our area super council person who says, yeah, I submitted 2 amendments. One was for trails, bicycle trails? The other one was for open space. What open space? Golf courses? That's no amendments. Come on, let's be frank.
I'm going to have to ask you
Okay.
to end there.
So,
okay?
so Bill 65, I'm opposed to it. I think it should be set aside until the community hears about these amendments. And I think you should take the lead on it, our area council person. And those issues that affect the people in the villages, Councilman Manor should take it up. Because I think it's a responsibility of the city to give those people that have been, you know, in the villages that live in substandard conditions, I think it should be taken up. These are the issues that are in the region. These are the issues that I'm concerned about.
I'm going to have to ask you to stop
thank you.
there. Okay, members, do you have any questions for the testifier? Any questions, members? But thank you for your testimony. Thank you, sir. Okay, please state your name for the record, offer your testimony.
Aloha. I'm Dr. Keone Dudley. I'd like to say that, you know, I was told once before, where are the people to stand for this? And I'd like to note that I am the 50th person in line to speak against this bill. Okay, so you know, we brought 50. There are thousands upon thousands of people who agree with us. There are just too damn many problems with this bill. There are 34,805 houses already zoned, already ready to build out in our place. There are another 15,000 in Central, ready to build, already zoned, fully entitled. What are we doing? I'd like to say that let's just move to the problems here. The first thing I'm worried about is laws. You know, I think that I've sent you folks the messages about what the laws are that you're encountering. In 2011, Councilwoman Ann Kobayashi got the council to pass the Resolution 1170, setting up an agricultural liaison in the mayor's office with the specific purpose of mapping the IAL lands, okay? Then, a year later, we had a Resolution 1223, which told that person, which finally was turned to the DPP, that get going on this. But the one thing, you've got to consider the lands within the urban growth boundary. That included Ho'opili and Coe Ridge. These folks have refused to do that. They won't consider those lands. And we need an amendment here telling them, you've got to study those lands. Okay. Let me tell you that you folks, though, wind up in a very strange position. It's a very schizoid position. You have you have a resolution telling agriculture liaison and other people that they must come up with important agricultural lands, and they must include Ho'opili in their study. And at the same time, you're going to pass a bill saying, let's turn that all into urbanization. I mean, it's a little bit crazy. I want to just point out, somebody said earlier that we're going to have urbanization all the way to Kapolei. With this bill, we are going to have urbanization from one end of the island to the other, unbroken. I mean, this is just really crazy. I'd like to tell you there is still a lawsuit out, 2 lawsuits. I have one of them, against as an appeal of the LUC decision. This is not settled yet. We're still in the courts. We're going to be in the courts for another year. If we win, the thing is going to come down and say, Ho'opili remains in agriculture. That's it, you know. Why would you to pass this thing right now while we still got that in the courts? I don't understand it.
Dr. Dudley, I'm going to have to ask you to come to a conclusion.
Okay. I just want to say that I've sent 3 amendments as kind of compromise resolutions. I haven't gotten any kind of support for it, but I want to tell you, I wish that you would look at the compromise resolutions before passing this bill. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Members, any questions for the testifier? No questions? Okay, last testifier, please, sir, step forward. Okay, members, be prepared to go into discussion right after this final testifier. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Council members. My name is Mitchell Tainanes. I'm a lifelong resident of Ewa Beach. That's 39 years, and I say resident. You want to talk traffic? Come talk to us in Ewa Beach. We lived it, and still to this day, you know, with the widening of it eased a lot of our traffic congestion. I fully support this Bill 65 as amended. With all these previous testifiers that I've been listening to, and I can go on and on about agreeing and disagreeing, and I came to one conclusion, and a lot of it was about food sustainability, agriculture. You know, the sad part about it is that we all are throwing all of our problems on the farmers, and we as Hawaii should be doing it ourselves. We should be growing our agriculture, you know, in our little yards, little areas that we have. We shouldn't throw all of our heartache and hardships on these farmers. You know, they're busting their butts 24/7, you know, every day, and that's to produce some food for their families and our families. So we, you know, should take care of our aina and take care of our land as Hawaii residents, and our ohana should keep it all together, and we should help them and realize that with food security, you know, don't throw it all on them. We should help them out and do it ourselves also. But all in all, I fully support this Bill 65. Thank you.
Thank you. Members, any questions for the testifier?